so much for joining us from our very last game this season here at Dodger Stadium. Now, over the season, I'm often inspired by conversations that I have with different players. This year, I had a chance to talk to Andre Ethier, who played a different position in the All-Star game than he normally does. He played center field, but normally he plays right field. So that got me thinking about players who play different positions and what it's like when they play the field. From first, second, and third, what's the toughest position, and what kind of adjustments do you have to make from one to the other?
Well, for me, they all have something different and unique about them. Turning a double play from second is obviously different, and then shortstop, it just feels like there has to be constant movement, and then third base, you've got either something hit extremely hard at you, or it's a slow roller, so you got to adjust. So they all have something different that you kind of got to work on each and every day. So it's kind of hard to say that anything is either tougher than the other.
Okay, now what about from the outfield positions as well, from right, left, and center?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a whole different world. One is just getting used to learning the ball at the bat and reacting and having an understanding of how far you can go to actually catch a ball, or to make a throw to a particular base, or choose not to go there but go there because you had to run a certain distance. So that's all a learning curve for me out there. But mainly it's just the flight on the ball and getting the jump on the ball, because you really don't hear the ball at the bat. You have to see it and react. So it's a whole different world out there.
Yeah, one of the first times I was ever in center field, I thought, how does Matt Kemp see the ball from out here, because it's so far from home plate?
Oh, yeah, and especially coming from being in the infield and going out there, it's all of a sudden you feel like you're in no man's land by yourself, and then the craziness is then coming into the infield maybe late in the game where you feel like you're in the back pocket of the guy again. So they're just adjustments you make, and you take them as challenges, and I have fun with them and accept them as a challenge, and hopefully at the end of the day we do all right at each one.
Now, have you always been able to play all the positions like that, or were you moved around?
Yeah, I think once I got into the minor leagues, it became a progression of learning each one, and you kind of start to understand what your role could be for a team, and what can make you have a chance to get to the big leagues. So that was something that I learned quickly and started to take a lot of pride in, and obviously I still do to this day, hoping that playing as many positions I can, we can carry an extra guy, or whether it's on the bench or in the bullpen. So take a lot of pride in it, and hopefully like I said, the hard work pays off.
Now, do you like being the guy that can kind of move around a lot then, and you're not stuck in one place, or?
More times than not, like I said, it's a fun challenge. I mean, obviously it would be nice to be able to settle in. I think it'd be less stressful on myself, and probably a lot less work, but I understand what it is and who I am for a particular ball club, and like I said, I have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, it's important, I think, too, because a lot of guys, like, they want to stay right in one place, but you're able to do all those different jobs, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is fun, to be able to keep everything kind of fresh, in the sense of going out there and taking ground balls at each position, and seeing how you feel for a particular day, and then it's the anticipation of when you're not starting, and on where you're going to finish the game, and trying to play the baseball game with Joe and the coaches, and trying to figure out where you're going to be. So I kind of like that challenge, and that's something that obviously really keeps me in the game, and it's caused me to learn a lot in this game.
I bet. Now, if Joe calls for pitcher or catcher first, which one are you going to be?
I think success rate, I would choose pitcher, but because I've seen those guys back there go through way too much behind the plate. Those guys are a different breed, but I'd give it a shot, and if that was the call, and hopefully come away without any damages.
Never played anything but center field until I got to the major league, so I kind of learned out here, on the job, I guess, so to say. But when you go from left field to center to right, the ball's all doing different things, because the ball's going to tail more towards the lines when you're in the corner. So if I'm in right field, it's going to tail towards the right field line most of the time, and if I'm in left field, it's going to tail towards the left field line. So it's like opposite ends of the spectrum. So when the ball's hit, you don't really have time to think. You just kind of react, and so that ball that's kind of hit right at you is going to end up fading about 30 feet. So from which position, it depends on how you're reacting. So it's just, you just kind of got to get so many innings underneath you that when you move to each side that you just kind of hopefully react the right way.
Well, what was it like the first time you were in center field? How did you feel? Did you feel like you should have been on one side or the other, or?
No, center field was always easy for me because I came up playing center field and it was pretty natural. And then in '07 when Garrett got hurt and I went to play left every day, that was my first time to ever play left. And I remember my one of my first 2 or 3 games, we were in Kansas City, and Sweeney was there, and he just smokes a ball at me. And I just kind of paused for a second because I didn't really know what the ball was going to do, and the ball went 20 foot over my head. So I learned real quick that it was definitely different. So I just tried to get out there early every single day and take extra fly balls in the outfield and left field, trying to get used to it.
You know, I was going to ask you that because different ballparks are so different. Do you have to go out there ahead of time and kind of feel it out as to where you are, or?
Yeah, because like a ball down the line, like if down our field, like here, the ball's going to kind of hug once it hits that fence. It's going to kind of just hug around that fence, where some of them will hit and shoot certain ways. Every ballpark's a little bit different, you know, depending on right and left, even in center. When you go like to Fenway Park,
right,
it's probably the hardest place to play center field in baseball, and you know, you just kind of gotta know those things in advance, because when the ball's hit to you, you don't have time to really think. You just kind of react.
So is it easiest to play in your own home field because you're so familiar with it?
Yeah, hands down. You know, you play so many games here, you take BP here all the time, and you just kind of get used to it, so you know what it's gonna kind of be before it happens.
You know, what would happen if you were asked to play the infield?
It'd be interesting, but I think I could do it. Actually, we discussed that last year at certain points. And I actually took ground balls all winter working on it. So I felt like we got where I could play second and third. Probably couldn't play short, but I got where I felt like I could do okay at that if we got into a big time emergency. But like I say, we'd have to have about 5 people fall down before they'd even think about putting me out there.
I was going to ask you, what would be the biggest challenge for you in the infield?
The biggest thing for me when I was learning how to do it this winter is just getting used to the ball coming at you so quick,
right,
you know, and how much footwork is really involved in it, because you see them guys and it looks real easy what they're doing, but it's not. It's extremely hard on your legs, because you got to stay down, and your first step is so crucial in keeping your feet cannot stop, you know. So, you know, what they do is a lot harder than what we do out in the outfield.
Well, you know what's funny about the outfield is I love the fact that, you know, we watch you guys from the press box, but when we're out here and we're in the middle of the outfield, I'm like, how does he see the ball from out here? It looks far away.
Yeah, it's just in the outfield I focus on that hitting zone. You don't have time to watch the ball come from the pitcher's hand and then react off the bat, because it's just too fast for your eyes. So I really just focus on wherever that hitter is. So wherever that strike zone where he is, I focus there, and I'm trying to pick up bat angle so I can, you know, a lot of times in center I feel like I'm moving before contact's made.
Absolutely.
Because I'll kind of see where that pitch is and what kind of hitter he is, and know the scouting report on him, what he likes to do, and how we're going to attack him that night. And I feel like I can kind of get pretty good jumps by doing that.
I was going to ask you about that as well, the jumps. It seems like when you're out there and the ball is in the air and you're about to catch it and you jump up, do you just have to kind of trust yourself to do that?
Yeah, it's just kind of instinct. You know, once you've done it so many times and you read that ball off the bat and you get a good read and your route's hopefully good, then once you get to that baseball, it just kind of, your body just reacts. You don't really have time to think.
You and the baseball become one, right?
I hope so.